In today's fast, noisy, and reactive world, can ancient wisdom still guide us? What if meditation wasn't just about silence, but about clarity in daily life? What if awakening the self could help awaken a nation? From modern Vipassana, to freeing your mind, from inner peace, to breaking political control. This journey isn't just personal, it's national. Let's begin. What is modern Vipassana?
Modern Vipassana is Vipassana in daily life, not limited to sitting cross-legged in a hall, not needing silence, rituals, or retreats. Modern Vipassana is a lifestyle, living with awareness, clarity, and conscious choice. It means watching your mental reactions during work, relationships, traffic, parenting, recognizing your conditioned mind like fear, anger, insecurity, and so on, and choosing your unconditioned mind clarity, wisdom, calm response. You may still feel emotions, but you no longer become them. That's Vipassana in action, freedom not through escape but through understanding.
What should we understand before practicing Vipassana, beyond the Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path? This is a brilliant question because without this foundation, many people misunderstand Vipassana as just a breathing exercise or mindfulness practice. Here are 5 key insights one should understand to truly benefit from Vipassana. Most of your thoughts, reactions, and decisions are not fresh. They come from old habits, traumas, beliefs, ego, and cultural programming. Vipassana helps you see this conditioning and step out of it. You are the observer of thoughts, not the thinker. You are the knower of emotions, not the emotions themselves. This creates space between you and your mental activity. That space is freedom. The mind either wants something, which is craving, or tries to avoid something, which is aversion. These are automatic, and honestly, they run your life. Vipassana shows you that you can feel craving or aversion and still not act on them. Every thought, emotion, sensation, and situation is temporary, but the conditioned mind treats them as urgent and permanent. Vipassana shows you that even pain, fear, or anxiety arises, stays, and passes. This insight makes you less reactive and, well, more grounded. Even if the conditioned mind arises, you can choose not to obey it. You can shift from reaction to response, from panic to presence, from noise to clarity. This, honestly, is the real fruit of Vipassana. Not detachment from life, but mastery over your inner world. Once someone realizes the nature of their own mind, how does their worldview start to change?
It changes everything, quietly but deeply. You start to see that most of the world is living in reaction. People fight over opinions, chase desires, fear the future, all because they don't understand their own mind. But once you've looked within, once you've seen your thoughts come and go, you stop taking them so seriously. You become less attached to being right, and more curious about what's true. You listen more, judge less. You realize that everyone's acting from their own conditioning, their past, their pain, their programming. So instead of getting angry, you feel compassion. It's like moving from black and white thinking to seeing the full color of life. And that shift, from reaction to reflection, is the beginning of real intelligence.
Can inner clarity help someone break free from blind beliefs or ideologies?
Absolutely. In fact, that's one of the first signs of real clarity. When you become more aware of your own mind, you also become aware of how much of it was borrowed. Beliefs you never questioned, opinions you inherited, fears that aren't even yours, all that starts to come into the light. Inner clarity makes you pause and ask, do I really believe this? Or was it just given to me by family, school, religion, or society? And slowly, you stop living on autopilot. That doesn't mean you throw away all beliefs, but you stop being a slave to them. You choose with awareness. You hold ideas lightly instead of clinging tightly. And that's what makes you free. Not rebellion, but awareness.
So, here's question 5. How does the idea of being your own light challenge modern political or social conditioning?
That idea, be your own light, may sound simple, but it's quite powerful. It encourages you to think for yourself, instead of blindly following what society expects. And that naturally challenges many of the patterns we see around us. especially in politics and culture. In many countries, including ours, people are conditioned to follow ideologies, parties, group thinking, even family expectations, often without reflection. But when you start observing your mind and asking real questions, you stop being controlled by those old habits. You begin to see, am I saying this because I believe it, or just because I was told to? And that kind of awareness is very difficult for systems to handle, because it creates individuals who are not easily manipulated. So being your own light doesn't mean rejecting society, it means participating with clarity, not confusion.
Okay, so here's question 6. What is the difference between tyranny and democracy?
In simple terms, let's break it down. When it comes to power distribution, in tyranny, all power is concentrated in one person or group. In democracy, power is separated among the executive, legislative, and judiciary. For lawmaking, the ruler makes laws alone in a tyranny, while in a democracy, parliament makes laws. When it comes to law execution, in tyranny, the same person or group enforces their own rules. In democracy, the executive, that's the government, carries out laws passed by parliament. With the justice system, judges in a tyranny follow the ruler's orders. But in a democracy, the judiciary is independent and can check government abuse. Accountability? Well, in tyranny, no one can question the ruler. In democracy, leaders are accountable to the people, courts, and parliament, and for media and dissent. In tyranny, these are controlled or punished, but in democracy, people are free to criticize and hold power to account. So in short, tyranny means power is concentrated. No checks, no balances. Democracy means power is divided. All branches can check each other.
All right, moving to question 7. What is a fake democracy?
A fake democracy looks like democracy on the outside. Elections happen, leaders give speeches, parties exist. But underneath, here's what's really going on. Power is not really separated. All institutions are controlled by the ruling party or an elite network. The government controls the courts, police, and parliament through party appointments. Judges are loyal to the party or leaders, not the law. Parliament becomes just a rubber stamp, not a real debating house. Elections are held regularly, but they're manipulated with money, media, fear, or unfair rules. There's no real punishment for corruption, abuse, or failure. The media is bought or bullied, and dissent is silenced through fake cases or violence. So the difference between real and fake democracy is pretty clear. Real democracy means separation of powers and accountability. Fake democracy means one party or elite capture of the entire system.
So, how do we actually disempower foreign powers in Nepal?
Well, the foreign strategy is actually pretty simple. They fund parties and then, they control institutions, which eventually means they control the whole system. But here's the thing, our people's defense strategy can change all of that. First, we really need to boycott compromised parties. That means just stop voting for, North Carolina, UML, Maoists, and Madezi. These parties, honestly, are already remote controlled. So, if we want to remove the remote, we just have to remove these parties. Second, we should focus on building independent institutions. Like, we need to demand that judges, police, and election chiefs are appointed by neutral bodies, not by party quotas. That's how we make sure our institutions stay truly independent. Alright, so let's talk about how we can achieve financial independence. First, we really have to say no to shady foreign loans. It's important to invest in agriculture, hydro, tourism, and tech. These are the sectors that can actually build a strong foundation for our future. And, we should use remittance for development, not just for luxury. Foreign powers lose power when you don't need their money. Next up, cultural awakening. We have to be proud of Nepali culture and of thinkers like Buddha, Aranako, and Prithvi Narayan Shah. Seriously, the youth must think independently, not just copy blindly. It's time to launch a people's movement. We need national policy, not just party politics. We want results, not just slogans. Decisions must come from Kathmandu, not foreign capitals. Break the remote, unite the nation. Be proud of your identity, not dependent on others. Change the leaders, change the country. Inner clarity is not weakness, it's power, the kind that frees you from fear, manipulation, and blind belief. Because once you know your own mind, no one else can control it. And when enough people awaken, the whole nation rises. We don't need more noise. We need awareness. Not borrowed ideologies, but original thinking. Not remote-controlled politics, but self-directed people. Start within, lead outside. Be your own light. Be Nepal's light. Subscribe, share, join the awakening.